Welcome, everybody, to the Righteously Broken Hour. This is where rebels find grace, faith fuels the journey, and God leads the way. Well, welcome, everybody, to the Righteously Broken Hour with Rebels Reborn, where chaos ensues, life happens, and we bring God right in the middle of all of it. Because, without Him, without God, this life makes no sense. So, it's going to be crazy, chaotic, with struggles. I'd rather do it with the one that created all things, because He says victory is mine. So, here we are again for another Righteously Broken Hour. I'm President Little King, and today we are blessed with a few more of our members. And so, we can go around. You got us on camera, but we can do our introductions and say a little bit of hello. I'm Rebel King, and then, of course, to my left is one and only
Me?
Rebel Sassy.
I'm Rebel Sergeant Arms Big Man.
Absolutely. We named him Big Man. Should he say that again?
It caught him. It was just a
Rebel
little
Reborn,
quiet.
Sergeant Arms Big Man.
Yeah,
There you
Big
go.
Man. And
That's a
then
lot better.
when you see him standing next to me, you guys will understand. And here's the thing: he's not even the biggest man here, not necessarily in this room, but in our little family. But Big Man, I don't know if anybody's ever seen the show, but it's Sweet Tooth, right? And so I should watch it with you, Big Man, just so you understand. But it's called Sweet Tooth, and this little kid, it's this whole crazy, different kind of half animal children, whatever. Which is a big football player, and doesn't like kids. Out trying to survive, out trying to do his own thing, because it's like post-apocalyptic type stuff. And here comes this big man finding this kid, big NFL football player, and unwillingly, but because his heart is built the way that it was, cares for, loves, and basically adopts this little young half deer boy. And so, we debated for quite a long time on what Big Man's road name should be. Because for one, he is a big man, but also he's not conceited in a point he wants everybody to be like, oh, you think you're the big man, oh, blah, blah, blah. But when you walk in and you have a president that's 5 foot tall and the sergeant of arms is 6 foot something, it's not inappropriate that he's called Big Man because he's bigger than me. But in that show, yeah, his heart and the way he looked after that kid, the way he cared, that's where, for me, the name originally. There's big people everywhere. And like I said, we've got members in our chapter that are bigger than him. But when it comes to the heart and the love and the protection that I know Big Man has and gives, it's the meaning on why that meant so much to me. But we went back and forth. We could share some stories. I tried to name him Resilient or Resiliency at one point because honestly, life happens, man, we're growing. And so through the growing exercise, we have our good days and our bad days where sometimes God leads us towards the path. We got to go through some lessons and then brings us back to the path that we were on. And we got to go away again and learn a couple other lessons. So that way, each time we're back on that little journey, we have some more fortitude, some more answers, and resiliency. The fact that you are here and came back, even after times where your heart or situation or flesh says that you absolutely shouldn't, here you are. And that just shows where you're at, what kind of hold God has on your heart, let alone that you are a perfect member of what is our broken family, all called, cast out, some of us through foster care, some of us through our own decisions, but family, pain, suffering, being alone, that is the heart of where a lot of our hearts come from. We know those feelings. And so when it speaks of resiliency, it speaks of my big man and just the fact that not letting the devil win when he absolutely had the authority to do so, that shows where your heart's at. And so
100%.
Every day.
Yep, and that he does every day, man. You should hear some of my conversations that I be having with God over arguments I be having with the devil.
You should
Tell
hear
ya.
some of the conversations me and Lil King have.
Yeah. Yep. But it's all for growth, and it really is. It comes down, and I repeat this over and over and over, and I know there's other verses, but James 1 is always the one that stands out to me. Because for one, in my life, it was almost the hardest to understand. Find joy when various trials begin because they produce perseverance. Well, great. I don't want to persevere anymore. I'm tired of just surviving. I want life. So, find joy. Okay, my life's falling apart. I'm going to jail again. I'm just be happy about it. But the the closer you grow to God, and then you start learning His heart, and then even the opportunities that come through those brokenness. You know, we did our Little Kings message this morning, and it was all about Joseph. But just even looking at Paul, Philippians, the happiest book in the Bible, was written through him while he was in prison. You know why? Because God gave him the opportunity to minister where it needed, not necessarily where Paul wanted to be. No, he doesn't want to be in jail, but you start learning to recognize that the story is much bigger than us, and that even the bad days matter. And so we're rebels, we're reborn. Last week we talked a little bit about us being rebels on pushing the button, but also this week, like, I would like to add in before we continue on with, our introductions or just saying hi, is that what God is producing in us is also a fruit that is not about a rebellion against the church, but against the condemnation or the lack of love that seems to be grabbing a threshold across our nation, around the world. I mean, we know Christians are prosecuted and things like that. Other countries, we are blessed to be in America. But there's one thing that Christ died for, and that was love. To love people, to love your neighbor as yourself. Now, your neighbor is not always a nice person. It's not always a person you want to love. So, when Jesus tells you to love them, it usually means it takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of fortitude and willingness to step through the trenches with them. And so, we are rebels even to the extent of we don't wait for your cup to get cleaned so you can come to us. We go out there, tell you to screw what the outside of the cup looks like, and we start bleeding and filling the inside because we are all worth it. Our lives matter, and even the chaos we went through absolutely can serve a purpose. So
100%.
why let it beat you down anymore? And like a couple of my close members, we were talking about it earlier on Little King. Fuzzy brought it up on the Little King message, but Big Man is the one that originally brought it to me in the first place, is God created the heavens and the earth and all that is in them. All that is in them. So, the devil, he fell from pride. It's one of our biggest downfalls as men. We have pride. We want this, do this, think we're that. But pride is what cast Satan out of hell. Thought he could be God where God was created and holds all dominion. So, cast out. But still, here's the part I want to get to. He was created. So, how can you be fearful of something that's been created by the Creator? I would rather have fear of the Lord and be away or disconnected from Him through sin or selfish living than I would ever rather be afraid of something that's been created and can actually do no harm to me than what God sees fit. Like Job, yeah, we go through lessons, we go through trials, but guess what? They do produce some results, and they help show and put God exactly where He is. So, sorry to cut off your introduction, Jared. I didn't mean I talk a lot
that's
sometimes.
okay. Not really an introduction, but he was right on point. Exactly how I said it though is, I really feel sorry for the people in this world that do not believe in God, and the only reason for is because, I've been risen by God. I was a complete failure in life, committed suicide 3 times. My dad was a sergeant in arms for an unknown club. I won't say names. Or vice president. I'm the sergeant at arms. Excuse me. But I've been through kind of a lot of things in life. But there's one thing that I really said, is how can you fear the created and not the creator? That's just what it comes down to. Is if you're truly afraid of fire, flames, and all this stuff that you guys see on TV, for hell, it's much worse than what you see on TV. I can guarantee you that because I've lived it on Earth. I put myself through these things, and the light has finally started to show, and it's a much better walk with God. And if you fear the devil, yeah, I would fear God a lot more, and that's really all I have to say on that.
Yeah, and I'm proud of you. And when you guys, when you first brought that to me, it really hit home because it was just a very simple statement, one I'd never heard before, but just absolutely puts the devil exactly where he belongs, underneath our feet. He is created, and Jesus died, saying that we are going to do greater things than even He. But not only that, He gave us the keys to the kingdom. We have direct access to the Creator. We can pray to the Creator against the created. And so,
Absolutely,
why be
amen.
fearful of Him? Flesh and all of us, even having fearful and being fearful of the world, the Bible tells us, what can man do to me? Why would I not want to fear the Creator who has the control of my soul and my eternity versus being afraid of a man who could take my flesh, which in all honesty, I'm so sick of my flesh that I look forward to the day that the flesh gets to die because I want to be righteous. I want to be holy. And so
Amen.
after we get through the introductions and stuff, we'll pass the mic around a little bit. But today's topic, last time we shared a little bit about love and who we were, but this time just even bringing in a little personal revelation of what righteously broken means to each of us. Like, we are here. We've survived. We've survived darkness and brokenness, but with God and with Him in the lead, it's turning into major areas where it's used for His glory. So now all the strongholds the devil tried to use to hold me down, God is now using to not just help improve my life, but to pick up people around us. And so
Help grow your family. Help
Yep.
grow the ones around you. The ones that truly are in the glory of God. Not just be here for a patch.
Yep. Yep. And there are those in any culture. There's the patch chasers. You know, unfortunately for us, and this is one of those things we'll have to bring up in the Little King episode, but we don't go by hierarchy of you earn your way up the chain of command through power or authority. You earn your way towards hierarchy higher up in the club by the heart's ability to learn to serve. The highest leaders in this club should be the biggest servants. Jesus washed the feet of even the person he knew was going to get him ultimately condemned and hung on the cross. Washed his feet. So we don't earn our stripes by prospecting the way up of earn your stripes, do this, be that, be a little more like me, do what you're told. We train and correct their heart to want to be bigger than themselves. So that way they start bleeding and helping and feed other people, which is exactly what God, Jesus called us to do.
Lead from the
Disciples.
front.
Build disciples. Go teach people how to fish. Don't just bring them a fish. And so that's a really big aspect to a lot of the things that, you know, we just kind of adhere to within this club. But with that being said, because I know I do definitely talk too much, I'm good at it. Let's keep this going down the line because Robo Fuzzy's down there staring at me like I owe him something.
Hey everybody, VP Fuzzy, Rebels Reborn, and I'm just glad to be here with the family, be able to share God's word, be able to spread the joy of what a family can do.
Yep.
Yeah, you can pray solely, but where three or more come together, it will be done.
Yeah, it's not easily broken. Where three strands are combined, I mean, there is strength in numbers.
100%.
Let alone the Bible talks about us, you know, communing together, coming together, because that's important. We need accountability partners. We need other people to catch us when we might be letting the devil in the wrong ear and things are slipping out. Like, we need that. And so for us, the family dynamic and aspect is very and always will be very important to us. We're not building just a motorcycle ministry. We're building a family. Because for most of us, we went without. You know, me, my own choice, I was out of the house by 15 because I manipulated my way to happen. But also by 15, before I moved out, I had 5 felonies. And so I was broken, hurt, and angry and wanted to do things. And so it is a family, just like Rebel Fuzzy was saying.
Well, and along with that, even growing up myself, by 15, drug charges, MIPs, MIPTs, fight charges, everything that you could see your high school kid getting.
Yep.
I had multiple. I had the point where people wanted to fight me because I was that guy. I was the fat kid that everybody wanted to pick on until they fought me.
Yeah.
My biggest one, I won't name names, but I had 2 people that one was fighting me, and when I took him to the ground, the other one came up, kicked me in the side of the head. And he didn't like the result because as he kicked me, I grabbed his leg and rolled his knee to the ground.
Yeah.
I got up, I was done.
Yeah.
I agreed to this fight. You caved me more.
Yeah. And the devil, that's
Yeah.
how he works, man. Try to stir the pot any way that he can. And so it's funny, I guess kind of from a reverse situation is I never really go around and have people that want to fight me. I'm 5 feet tall. Like, you want to beat up somebody that's 5 feet tall, like, what does that
I
say
ain't
about
much
you?
bigger. I'm 5'6".
But that doesn't mean I didn't get myself into fights. Now, here's the part that I always loved is the people that did end up or were willing to teach me a lesson found out really quickly you shouldn't underestimate
The little guy.
Anybody.
I just want to pause it. If there's any 5-foot person in this world that I want by my side or to fight with me, it would be you.
Yeah.
I'm just
I-
saying.
I
Because
appreciate
you
it.
are that little shit.
Yeah.
You are the
And
shit.
that's the fun part. You can just throw me, and it's happened and it's been done. And
I'll
just
call-
like King
I'll
David,
pole
we
vault them.
yeah,
Right at a group of people.
like King David, you know, there are times that we need to righteously go flip over some tables like Jesus did. So, coming against the devil,
Him mid-flight will turn him into a torpedo.
yeah. So coming against the devil, there may be a time where
As he goes, it's gonna go bing, bing, bing.
that gets to happen.
And we're gonna like throw him almost probably through someone, unfortunately.
No, Bambi was just saying how she's excited to learn to ride this year too. And in our club, married people, if you're married, the wife can carry a patch. We are co-ed, you
Yeah.
know, and so our 3 top positions, out of respect for the MC culture and making sure we never put anybody in danger, are only strictly male positions: president, VP, and sergeant of arms. Because that way, if we ever got called to a table where women are not recognized as authority or anywhere shape should have authority in a strictly men's club against the Dom or another 1% club,
Yeah.
we don't want to put anybody's lives in danger.
Not at all.
So Bambi is very excited about it because her Bambi Rebel Fuzzy, husband and wife, she has definitely been patch member. Not from the very beginning, but man, you
close.
should have watched her heart change when it was starting to be built, and just God putting that desire of
It was a flood.
yes,
It really was.
absolutely. And so yeah, so again, man, I really do talk too much, don't I?
I was there from the very, very beginning, so I remember
Oh,
talking about it.
you
what
were
we
part of the
wanted
whole
to
building
do.
process.
I mean, even I was there a few
Yep.
months after. I mean, yeah.
Ex-
But
yeah.
are we gonna do introductions?
We are, and I was
Okay,
just
then
getting
I'll wait.
myself away
Then I'll
to
wait,
kind of
okay.
get so we get to Trunk Monkey next and stuff, and so. But yeah, no, it's exciting. Bambi's getting to learn to ride, and it just adds in their bike.
And to my left,
Yeah.
Given to
I'm
Huh?
talking about you.
Yeah,
Oh,
said the person
Yeah.
to my left. Huh? That's our Trunk Monkey.
Huh?
Yeah.
Me?
Hey,
No,
and if
I
you
am the Rebels Reborn's treasurer, Drunk Monkey.
and now pause it. Okay, if you've never seen any of the Suburban Auto Group old commercials, pause this podcast right now. Google search Trunk Monkey, Suburban Auto Group, and then watch them. Watch all of them. There's
a
probably
chunk of them. There's like 60 to 90.
well, okay, don't watch all of them. Watch the top 10 to 15.
Yes.
Then
they are all
come
funny
back
clips.
and continue to listen to Trunk Monkey's introduction, because when we say he is our Trunk Monkey, we
He
even
really
have our
is.
Trunk Monkey buttons. And so
Do you need
he
this?
comes,
Or am I
he
supposed
surveys,
No, it's us,
he
it's
surveys, he saves,
to- Good. That's how you get away.
and he loves us deeply.
I try to say. I try.
At the very least, you're big enough to be a wall that whatever was coming against us would just stop anyway. So
And I mean, I'm also kind of big and shaped enough that I could probably curl up in the fetal position if a bear comes by and just distract them. It's gonna think I'm one of its
Bro,
cubs.
I
Y'all can just run away because that's gonna look at me and be like, oh, I'm taking this home, and I'm gonna be sitting there just like, guys.
Here's a part that I highly
I
doubt
can
this.
run faster than Topher, so I'm okay.
I'll run faster than all y'all.
I know I'm not gonna run fast enough.
But
that's why
here,
I'm getting the fetal
I got
position.
something to say about this, and this is like, let me bring this to the table. This is a declaration from President Little King.
Little Cling.
Little King, yeah, Little King on our Righteously Broken podcast. If we, as a family, were in front of a bear, and the bear was coming at us, I've watched you open-handedly knock out other people bigger than you. That if a bear was coming at you, I really feel like you would just act like you were at the slap competition table.
No,
and you would
no,
just open-handed,
Actually,
give it one.
Our
No.
treasurer is an amazing and very strong person, but when it comes to a bear, you're getting eaten, bud.
Bro.
No.
So
No, here's my thing.
Where's the
so,
faith?
So
here's
thank
my
God,
thing.
allegedly, we all carry. 'Cause
If
that bear
David
was
could
big.
do it, hey,
No.
listen, no, I
Here's
got
the
fights
thing.
now. I'm bringing this biblically. If David could fight a lion and a bear with his bare hands and kill them,
Goliath?
and David was a little person, I know, but Goliath at least had a rock. I mean, you're talking a lion and a bear stole his sheep. He had to chase them
That would
down
be-
and
I usually
kill
have
a
a
lion and a
knife
bear.
on me.
Just think that'd be like you killing me with a rock,
Faith.
David and Goliath.
Yes. So faith. If he was between me and a bear, I ain't even moving.
That's what I want my room.
I'm
road
popping
name
up
to
a
be.
lawn chair and I'm cooking some marshmallows because that bear is
If we're in the-
for
if
its
we're
Is
in
own
the-
handled.
story.
Okay, if we're in the woods, I've got at least two things. Something that's gonna at least distract the bear, and that's a knife and an axe, and I'm ready to die
Hit
fighting
a
it.
boat.
I do.
But I'm taking it with me when I die.
Whatever, you're gonna be like that, that girl on Ghost. You're gonna try to hug me.
You know what though? I'm gonna succeed.
See, faith. That's what it takes.
I'm not gonna try
David
to
believed he was going to succeed. And even when Saul tried to put his armor on him, David was like, this does not fit
You
me.
know what?
I'm not
Here's
wearing
what's
it.
gonna happen.
And all it took
You're
was a
gonna see
rock
the
and some
bear
faith.
coming out, and you're gonna see
It's
Toast,
official,
and then
official.
10 minutes later, he's gonna be coming back. Toast's gonna be coming back out with a bear, a collar, and a freaking pup cup from Starbucks, walking that thing like it's my new pet.
Yeah.
You're too tall. You're almost out of frame.
He is squat. You need a
I'm
stool.
on a tiny chair. Where's our usual little?
Oh, right there.
The
big
little,
man.
oh, the little,
Little
brass-
blue foldy chair.
Yeah, that's what you need. Bring you down to my level a little bit. Most of the time, I gotta do that. I gotta like hit somebody in the nuts.
to sit on this, let alone you. But okay.
No, these
No,
things
he
are
likes
actually
those.
screwed.
They're
I steal these
comfortable.
from people all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that in a rude way. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We
you
weigh
did.
the same. We
You said you're gonna break it.
We
Yeah,
weigh
that's
the
so
same
nice.
amount. I'm just a foot, half a foot taller
What
than
do
you.
you weigh?
Do we need to stay on camera?
You weigh what? 300?
I weigh like 290 right now.
Yeah, I weigh 347.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
way
fair enough.
heavier.
I weigh 128. So beat that.
But if you met him in
Alright.
real person, he is.
And our last
128
introduction
solid.
today.
If he quit drinking soda and drinking Red Bull, he'd probably have a six pack.
It's
He
very
does have a
close.
6-pack of Red Bull.
Yeah, I do. On the good days.
On the good days.
Sometimes God.
Those are
only
the days
gives
I
you-
don't got to worry about him waking up cranky.
Yeah, sometimes God only gives you what you need, not necessarily what you want.
Oh my goodness. I'm
All
right,
learning,
Bambi.
I'm learning that wholeheartedly.
And sometimes you don't get a Red Bull for 4 hours of a trip.
Bambi.
You're up. Say hi.
Hi.
She leaves us around for the last week's introduction too, which is nice because we got to explain why
Present
she
yourself.
is called Bambi.
Yeah.
Rebel Bambi.
Rebel Bambi here.
Oh yeah, just wait for her to blossom, and she will, and she
Yeah.
does, and
Where-
it becomes
Where's the pipe
interesting.
though? I mean, that dude gets her going.
Over there.
I got plenty of
There and
stuff.
it's out.
She is the vice, the VP's wife. Amazing person. As we all grow together,
Yeah.
she is one of them that has
Yep.
come very far
She
and
has.
grown, just like all of us.
Yep.
Yes.
She's been my best.
Since
one
she
of
don't
my
want to
best
talk,
friends.
I'll talk for her.
She's been one of my best friends now for about 20 years. And she has made exponential growth in even just the last handful of years compared to when I've known her for 20, and then I've known the one over to my right here for 25 this year.
I blame you.
I blame you. You're the one that tripped the kid.
Yeah, see,
I'm
and there
driving-
comes the story.
okay,
We
I'm-
waited for this.
I'm
We
driving
waited
in the
for
car
this.
with them yesterday or the day before, and they're talking about how many times VP Fuzzy has ran over Trunk Monkey Treasure so
No,
many
not
times.
ran me over. Hit me with the car. He's never put the car over top of me.
But
Same.
he's-
That was a
same.
You
four-wheeler.
also slammed your head in
And
the
it
trunk.
wasn't
Okay.
just cars that he's been hit with. He's
I've
been
got-
hit with other
I've got-
machinery
okay,
devices.
I've got that was only one. Well, there was the Genie Lift and the all-terrain
four-wheeler.
forklift, but the 4-wheeler's not really that's just an ATV. That's a different story. But no.
And the
okay, so-
conversation was that we were trying to put in order the ones that he hit him by the slowest. So he got hit by the slowest one, and then this was
It's like
when he got hit by the
alphabetical.
fastest one.
Listen,
That's what's so funny
The
about it.
slowest one was also the heaviest with the all-terrain forklift.
Yeah.
Thank God for composite toe
Ah,
shoes.
Yeah, but even the times he slammed your head in the trunk.
Okay. I have
The
two
Cadillac
stories.
trunk, man.
Okay, I
Like,
have 2 stories I gotta tell real quick. These
Well,
are quick.
yes, you might have 2 stories, but we also only told pieces of
Yeah,
the very first.
We got to
story of how you
finish
guys
our
met.
meeting story.
so-
So our meeting story first.
Mm.
Okay, so the story on how a 25-year friendship blossomed in about 30 seconds. So to lead up to the story, my mom and dad had to coach basketball, and my brother was on one team, his brother was on another team. Those 2 teams were playing that day. On that team was someone me nor Fuzzy really liked at that time because he had done a small. Well, he was running through the basketball court, and everyone was just paying attention down the court to the rest of the game. So they didn't even notice the fact that Fuzzy here kicked his foot out and caught this kid's foot as he was running and made him just face plant the ground.
He literally
And-
slid on his
he
face.
slid like 2 to 3 feet just on his face.
I hope you guys wrote him a letter of
This
apology.
kid himself,
they just
no,
love that.
Well, how about you apologize on
this kid
network?
himself.
I'll apologize for that. I do apologize for tripping you, but it blossomed our friendship.
Do I have to apologize for laughing? Okay, I apologize for laughing. Because not only did I laugh.
Well,
but I
here's the thing:
did-
was he laughing?
No.
No.
He couldn't. He couldn't.
So,
His,
yeah.
his mouth was
Appreciation
bleeding
is
a little.
apology. Whether
But
he
no.
hears this or not, just know our hearts are out there. I
Anyway,
made them seek forgiveness.
So, this kid even himself thought he tripped over his own shoelace.
Well,
So did
now you
everyone
know.
else. So did everyone in this gym. I didn't. I'm the only one that noticed. And right as I walked across this basketball court to him, looked him dead in his face, and said, "My name is Chris, and we need to be friends. Not I want to be your friend. I was just like, we need to be friends." And it spawned a 25-year-long friendship.
Little did
In
we
30
know
seconds.
that our parents already knew each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Our brothers hung out too, but we didn't know that at that point. We never really all hung out together, so
Well, that's when you kind of look
That
at
was
it
when our
and you can
families just
see where even
instantly-
the God ordained.
we literally just, our families integrated instantly. I mean,
Oh yeah.
his mom became my mom became his mom, and
Well,
the
and
two
God
dads
knew
were dads.
God knew who He was creating in you, and He knew who He was creating in you, and where that would eventually lead to. Now, part of Topher's story too, like our trunk monkey, is that the first couple years that we've known him, like even like we talked a little bit about last week about Rebel Fuzzy and Bambi. I mean, when we met Topher, he was I am a pagan. No, I believe in Norse God. I am everything but not Christian, and you won't change me, and that's fine.
Yep,
We don't want to.
I
But we'll
was
love
fighting
you.
it every step of the way
Yep.
in the beginning.
But we'll love you.
Amen.
But yeah,
It took several car rides to mainly about 9 or 10 of them to Idaho and back over the course of one summer.
listen,
'Cause it was
I don't
every-
talk about God like that.
It was every other week, and
He's
even-
being sarcastic.
Listen,
Yeah.
it just comes out of me. I
He's
don't know.
trying to plead innocent, but he's not on this one. I would gladly call him out for this one. No, this every time that he could, this man would just slip God into the conversation. And there was times that he would not only slip God into the conversation, he would begin a conversation that would begin a back and forth of this like deep, just theological conversation between the two of us
Mhm.
that would last for 4.5, 5 hours most of the trip until we finally decided we needed to shut up, smoke, and eat.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty much what it was. Was like, we had a good conversation. We need to smoke a bowl and go get something to eat.
I was completely.
Can I share something real quick?
Yeah.
I didn't know Ryan for. I mean, I've known him for over
Couple years now, yeah.
But
Couple years.
one of the first week that I met him, I came out with a most like I say, we don't say names, but past member introduced me to these guys, and he took me on one of them trips, Toph, and it was I remember it to this day. We tried so hard to get just a joint that
Yeah.
day. And there happened to be one shop that was open. I don't even remember what day, President's, or it was some day holiday. There was one
Yeah.
was open.
Yep.
So we got that, and then we stopped and got a pizza. And I really wish I remember where that pizza was from, because that was the best pizza I think I ever had in my darn life. But that was the same thing though, and it was
That's
about
one
God.
thing
It was
I love.
about really, where he's asked me so many times in this journey, where do you want to be in life? So he is definitely our leader, and his heart is so full of
Oh, dude.
just love, and I mean, none of us would be
Oh,
here
yeah,
if
no.
if we didn't believe in him, and that's
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah,
heart.
And
You know-
me, like every time you guys say
He
things
hates
like
hearing
that,
that, but-
because it's not me, it's God. I give it all to God, and it's only through
It
my
is God,
brokenness.
but God is guiding you to love us and show
I know
us.
it is. It's
You are disciple, as all of us are, but you're one of God's soldiers that is here to help his other soldiers to be like you.
Well, and
So we
that's
can
like
all
I
grow.
say, like my fruit, like life is hard. The devil definitely comes after you every day. Financial difficulties, this and that. Whether anybody will ever hear you or you ever get a chance to help anybody, you guys. Like I say, whether this is the biggest we ever get or if we only reach a handful of people through podcasts and on the internet, if we gotta reach them and help them find love in themselves and find how much God truly loves them and believes in them, then we succeeded. And so your guys' fruit getting to sit here and slowly bleed in, and it won't be like I think of a conversation about, oh, if I start this way, I'll be able to add God into it. We'll just be
No.
talking about whatever.
Yeah,
We
no.
can literally be
It was-
listening to an Eminem
so-
song, and then all of a sudden we're talking
Yeah.
about something biblically and how
So,
life and this and the circumstances.
I've been
like,
on about at least 50 or so trips with him since him and I actually started getting. I lost my job right around the time him and I started meeting, right? So he looks at me and he's like, well, I need someone to ride with me when I take these long trips. He's like, I don't usually get too many of these. Yeah, and then
All right.
Then, well, no, these were just they started off as the regular inspections. I did one full actual inspection,
full
like
real
a
home
$1 million
inspection.
house inspection, like. And then he's like, we don't get too many of these, and he's like, I got these things now called a draw inspection. I'm like, okay. And he's like, I could get a couple of these. I'm like, okay, I'll ride with you. A couple turned into a lot that season, like almost back to back
Now
every
you know
other
what?
day.
Now you know
going
what?
to Idaho, Bill. Like, I was spending hours on the road with him, and it was.
Well, that and I'm 6'6". It's really hard for me to ride for long trips.
But no,
Yeah.
at first, during that period,
Unless
of
I'm on a
time-
bike, then I can stretch my legs out.
during-
Sorry, Toph.
No, you're good. During that period of time, like, I loved going on the trips and stuff with you and stuff. At first, it was like, he talks about God a lot. But it's like, I'm okay with that. I mean, I never had a problem with a deep conversation. And then I am forever grateful for all those conversations about it now because it helped lead me to where I am.
Yeah,
Like-
it did, and it was slow, and it was nothing more than just love,
Exactly.
you know, because like
Love you, baby.
you had your
Cracker.
standpoints, and like who am I to cast the first stone? And
I
I
didn't say
know
cracker. I think.
this peace and this love and this joy, but you know I'll tell people this all the time. Like there's a lot of times you're not going to win somebody over by throwing the Bible at them,
Exactly.
but I can simply have conversations,
Exactly.
and I can simply share my experience, and then even still sharing my troubles. Which then you got to watch, like, man, God, I'm going to figure it out, or this
I
or
watched.
that. And
That's what led me to God. Is like literally watching as you guys are sitting here and you're going through not even like at that time even more difficult times than I was going through. I'm like, I'm standing here stressing about what I'm, and you guys are just like, we're good. It's like, I want that kind of peace.
you know,
Like I wasn't sleeping, nothing, and I was like, what is giving them this level of? And then I started watching, and I'm like, God's just got these guys. Like this is the peace of acceptance,
That's one of my sayings. God's got my back.
mhm,
and it was
absolutely.
it became
I've heard
undeniable
that
at
3
that
times in
point.
the last week from you.
And the way I even did it, like when I really looked at you, I was like, hey, let's go for a bike ride because it was the
Mhm.
first time, like the first season, like I started riding the purple bike and stuff.
Yep.
And I was like, let's go for a bike ride. And we went over to the firehouse over here and just sat down and had a conversation.
Yeah.
And like when I seen your face light up when I told you, I'm like, we're having a conversation that you've been wanting to have, and I knew you immediately knew, and you were like, what?
Yeah, absolutely. Let alone it was not just my surprise. I had known you for a couple years at that point, and I love bleeding into people because not only when you start being able to see and understand that God loves you, you can start developing a heart that if He loves me, I'm worth loving. And sometimes that's a big difference in what can start to change people and fruits develop. And so I was super excited, you know, because we don't know if conversations one go and out the other, but that's not the point. We're just called to plant and water seeds. And so if that was our time and that's how God allowed in a natural state that seeds got planted and you just watched from the sidelines, man, that's what God
dude,
needed to.
And it changed me completely. Like the man I am today is definitely nowhere near what I used to be.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, and that's where I was talking about the surprise. You say that I lit up. Man, when we came back and told
Fuzzy looked dumbfounded for a second.
I was. Dude, I
His jaw-
was.
he couldn't pick his jaw up off the ground. He was like, what did you just say? He looked at me like I was an alien.
well, because you flat out told us
I've seen you.
I'm not gonna be this.
Fuzzy,
I've
That's
seen you
okay, we're gonna love
everything
you
from
anyway.
a pagan to an atheist. I've seen you
You've seen
go
me
trying to understand every religion. Legitimately.
Yeah, I know. You've seen me through about every single phase in my life.
The only one I never seen you try was Christianity.
That's because for the longest time, I refused to even attempt to try.
I hate quotation, whatever for the religions, Christianity, Judaism, whatever, all that stuff. It's Catholic.
Well, let's think.
There's
They're
only one
religions.
God. So what's the issue here? That's
The belief in where their hearts are at,
Yeah.
you know.
I think
just like the Jews. They believe God already came back.
Everybody's
He's not coming back
entitled
anymore.
to their own beliefs. Whether
We're
it's
all condemned.
a
Jews,
correct
he's
belief
not
or
coming
not
back. He's not
is up for
reincarnating.
God to determine.
Yeah. And then to the hearts and planting the seeds. You know, it reminds me of that story of the wedding party where the king couldn't get anybody to come. Any of his friends, invited them all, cut a bunch of excuses, and then brought a bunch of other people in there. Well, there was just a bunch of people invited off the street. Of course, some of them aren't dressed in wedding garments, and the staff was like, "Hey, you want me to throw these guys out?" He said, "No, that's not for us." And the moral of the story is down the road, Jesus explains it, is because Jesus will send down angels to pick away the weeds and burn them into the chaff or the corn, the good stuff, the stuff that we want to grow. So it's Jesus' job. And so our job is to call to water and plant seeds. Now, going and trying to throw Bibles or this or that or argue religion with anybody, I mean, you're already setting that bridge on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's one thing that I've seen that speaks above all else, and that is just simply love. I don't need to push my beliefs on you, but sometimes the way people see love or see action or see the way you carry yourself and care for others, sometimes that speaks Jesus for itself. And so
100%.
that's why Jesus says, just, go out, make disciples of people, but it doesn't mean by throwing Bibles or condemning or making people feel bad because of the way that they're living. Jesus met sinners where they were. That's the point. Meet them where they're at, not where you hope they want them to be, but even where you might hope you want them to be might not be what God has in store for them. Not that that's bad, but He might have a real plan. Like us, here's a situation where medical cannabis is a very real, big deal for us. Not in terms of like let's say it runs our life, but like Christianity, people believing in us, for the longest time, there's been stereotypes that this is bad. You can't do that. Even alcohol is bad. And we talked a little bit about that last podcast, as they said, Jesus says, "You called me a drunkard," and John the Baptist was wrapped in sackcloth and he ate bugs and he called him a demon. In 2 Timothy, Paul urges Timothy to drink the wine to ease the burden of his stomach. And so it's not the substance that is bad. It's what man has done to the substance. Making wine versus making hard alcohol are very different processes. One involves a lot more man involved with it versus fermenting grapes and adding some yeast and sugar, and then the same thing with like cannabis. You start getting into where they took the poppy plant and they made opiates and, all these other things that man has done, but it doesn't take the simple form of it, like marijuana, still not applicable to being used for some kind of medicine. And so, what right do we have to want to judge other people? But there are going to people out there that just because we understand and recognize the benefits of what it and how it helps us, they might not be able to see that. But if they see our love in action, if they see how we care and love for people, all of a sudden, what they perceive as a sin might not start opening some doors that you've been judging people for no reason. And every time we judge somebody, it closes a door. And so these churches, not walking in love, the love that Jesus has that says, "I don't condemn, I convict." We want to lead and help people grow. You do that by nudging and loving and tilling and plowing the ground and ripping out roots and trees of strongholds that the devil has buried in there for years. It takes work, it takes effort, and it takes time. So it takes love. And so people, they try to take it and polish up the outside of the cup, but what really matters is if we don't fix what's been built and being torn apart on the inside, then what good are we really doing? So out of judgment, out of condemnation, out of you didn't dress right, people are getting rejected or pushed away from church as not being good enough. Since when did we have that right to decide who is good enough or who is not good enough? Let alone the Bible tells us that if we have resources to help people, you help them. What godly love is that if you have resources and you deny somebody in need? It doesn't mean they have to be a Christian. It doesn't mean they have to be this, go help. And there are a lot of churches that do. And so this is not a condemnation situation. It's a speak out in love. Do more for filling the cup than making sure the cup looks polished so that other people will think they're okay. Because honestly, we're not all okay. Pastors up there are pastors up there that will be going through real storms in their life, and they give a good sermon. But sometimes maybe that storm they're going through is what the congregation needed to hear, because they're going through storms. And so you see these pastors in this image of they got it all together and these things are figured out and they know the word of God and they can't stumble. They got to be right. And then when they do stumble, it's this big, oh my gosh, how did this person stumble? He was so looked at and so important. But the whole time he's been struggling himself, trying to find help, having to present that people believe in me and so I must have to be this person. But what if sharing that struggle helped connect him more to the congregation so that when he actually needed help, he had a family willing to help them back? And so love, I mean, it does and will change a lot of things, especially when it comes to judgments. And so I hope that people that might be interested just to see what kind of chaos we are bringing, I hope that this intrigues them to look beyond themselves and start seeing things through Jesus's eyes. Jesus, like you said last week, babe, will remove what he wants and wants to be removed, and he has in our lives. But there are other things that I will trust a man or a God-grown entity over a stamped man-made item. Jesus drank wine. He didn't drink tequila. You know, they talked a lot about herbs and this and that, and like we could jump down rabbit holes of if he gave us every seed-bearing plant and all these things. But the thing is, the herbs and the wine and the stuff were medicine to them at some point, also used in celebration at some point. And so why are we condemning everybody? Why is the world condemning everybody instead of loving somebody? Because that love might be the difference that changes what you know it's the devil is controlling. It might be what kicks the devil out. It's because you loved that person.
Yep.
Now, bringing it back to the rebels, when we understand that, that makes it our power that we get to go give away. We understand that brokenness. So I can go look at anybody, tell them I understand because I've been there. Shoot dang, wouldn't change it for the world. So
Shoot dang.
shoot dang. Yep.
Are we ready for introductions?
Yeah, Topher has
bit.
made it down his way. Bambi
was?
did do
I got a
hers.
good one.
Well, if you got a good story to share it. Absolutely.
share it, man.
We just go. The introductions are just like if people are on, like they might know our name, and we can put
I
names
didn't,
down
know,
and stuff.
I didn't know how this rolled, but
Now we're just in it.
Yeah, we've been mid talking sermon, just doing
Our
things.
podcast
Alright.
is our conversations.
Absolutely, chaos included, like throwing me at people.
This is Big Man's first time really doing
Rebels
this with us.
Reborn, Sergeant Arms, big man. Just a little bit about God, you know. It just they don't like to hear Ryan Lacey. They don't like, excuse me, Low King.
Well, it don't matter.
Sassy
Names
don't like to
here.
hear
We're
it.
family. We're figured
Um,
out. We're an MM.
But
Got nothing.
there
to
was
hide.
at a point about 4 months ago, maybe 5. I don't know. I lose track of time. That time flies. But I had
Tuesday.
contacted Ryan, and this is after I've already went through my prospecting phase twice, and had failed to my own.
You had been tilled twice. There's a story in the Bible where even the gardener said, "Let me till this tree one more season, and if it doesn't produce fruit, then take it out." You were just tilled.
When
It was a slow process.
I was choosing different things in my life. You know, I was making up excuses not to come to chapel, to meetings, and all, you know, all this stuff that just doesn't fly. I grew up around the MC life, so I already knew I was messing up, you know. And at this time, and my mom just died. She died a year ago, March 7th. But something I just like to speak about is anybody can do it, or if I can do it, anybody can do it. I
Absolutely.
literally have. I mean, since I've been here this last time, I mean, I've fallen out of my RV, cracked, like literally bruised my ribs. I have been
Smashed up by cows.
I've had a tooth infection. I've had stomach problems. I mean, stomach pain so bad where you can't even bend down. You can't even move. It's bad. The devil has tried to take everything away from me. I really hate to say this, but the truth, I was one of the devil's greatest soldiers. And he knows that. And a lot lately, he has been trying. He doesn't want to lose me.
Mm-hmm.
And I fight every day just to be content with what I have. And something that I've learned very, very much is to learning to be uncomfortable, or to be comfortable
With
and
being
uncomfortable,
uncomfortable.
being
Yep.
uncomfortable.
Yep. Get
And
comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because
and it's huge because yes, these guys. I mean, like I said, there was at a point where I had messaged Ryan, and I was ready to blow my head off. I have already committed suicide 3 times in my life, from stealing pills from my opiate addict mother to taking. I've always had mental health problems, so I took about 100 Seroquel, 800 milligram Seroquels one time, and
That's intense.
this is handfuls. You know, I'm not. It just this is what it it breaks down to this committing suicide, all this stuff. And about 4 or 5 months ago, I had contacted Ryan after I had threatened his club, threatened him, threatened all this stuff because they left me when I needed, or
our
fucked
season
up.
separated
Let me
us.
hold on, press
Yeah.
please. I messed up, and they had to. This door closed because of the choices and what I was doing in life, and that was my own fault. So they had to distance me from what was they were doing because I was making bad decisions. But I took it very literal, and I took it to heart. And not only after my second prospect phase, and I was almost finished, my mom died, and I have nobody in this world right now besides my uncle Rick and my little sister and these guys. But I mean, talking about blood, like immediate family. Everybody else is either overdosed or died of cancer. So I contacted Ryan one night or one day, whatever. After drinking 30 racks of beer, doing this, getting drunk every day, doing it. I mean, just not doing good. Uh, and I literally asked him for help, and it was my last resort. It was, I mean, I had my own grandparents, my own family, dude, would not help me, and the reason for that is because everybody scared of me. Um, I was very violent 2 years ago. You know, my life had changed after I physically hurt somebody, and they were in the hospital for a while. It changed my life on putting my hands on people, and so long story short, I guess, I contacted Ryan, and it was my last thing. If Ryan wouldn't have took me in, and his wife wouldn't have took me in, I would not be here today. And I owe that to them, and I love them very much. And not only did they open a door for me, though, and give me a roof over my head, they had also reincarnated me in a sense to find God, to find peace. And it doesn't just not Ryan Lacey. Every member in this club, even our prospects, show me stuff sometimes, make me
Yeah.
rethink stuff. And it is,
Yeah, you taught me a huge
if you
lesson
do
about
not
myself.
believe in God, like I said, you are making a mistake, because without believing, without this faith, without this guidance and walking this path, I would be fucked right now. I don't know if I can say that on a YouTube.
Oh yeah,
I would be. I would.
We're
I would.
We've got one.
I have been.
softening
I
our
have been
curve.
8 years
And
sober off methamphetamines. I did it for about 4 years, and it was kind of a recreational party thing for me. But
There it is.
um, I do. It's just crazy. I lose track. Smoke a little weed. I lose track of what I'm saying, but it is all old, and it all owed, and it comes with growth, and I am still growing.
We are all
Me and the
are.
president got in an
100%.
argument last night. I am still trying to figure out how to be financially stable. I am still. I mean, but in the little things though,
It's all in the
from where
baby
I
steps.
was for 2 years being comfortable with myself to the 5 months that I've lived here, I've done things that I never thought I could.
Grown in ways
I've
that
held a job the whole time. I have bought a very nice motorcycle. I have caught up on a little bit of clothes. I can afford to live, let's just say.
but more than that,
And
even
before I was nothing.
the battles.
I took a bunch of Xanax, drank a bunch of alcohol, and instead, just stayed in the place that was paid for me by
so
Section
much
8.
more than that, though.
Yeah, 'cause
is
even-
how your mindset has
Exactly, the
changed.
battles that
Yeah.
you were facing and the torment that the devil had you in. And yeah, we also have our moments, because I mean that's life, it's flesh. Even Paul talked about the thorn in his side. But you have overcome and grown so much in that time because of your surrender to God, that he's had he started opening doors for you that we all witness. And that's where that fruit, when I talk about when the fruit that you guys are growing is what feeds me. It's what helps me stay inspired and hopeful, because life is hard, things suck, and especially being in leadership, I don't want to be in leadership.
It's hard.
It's hard.
I'm there.
And you, especially when you have a heart that cares, because you want everybody to grow and succeed. And so your growth that has happened, has been exponential, and it's huge. And so even on the times where the devil makes us feel like we're worthless or wrong, those are growth exercises too. That's why James 1's important. They produce perseverance. Perseverance, good thing, and hope, because then we're learning not only that can this bad thing turn into something good, but what can I also learn or help somebody else through it. And so, like you were sharing in your story, that unfortunately the world, and when we don't want to listen, or we want to just set aside and feel like it's us against the world and we can do it ourselves, that lonely state we box ourselves in, it leads us in a spiral straight down towards the bottom, right? And then sometimes once we hit that bottom is the only time we'll actually look up. And so sometimes it's what it takes. It's what God needs.
It is.
Because instead of looking to the world for the answers, we start looking up. And that's where it comes from, the heart of the matter.
And it literally took, I don't know, can I say, is this on YouTube? What is this?
No, this is recorded.
Okay. Well, whatever. It's,
Where we decided to put it?
my uncle blew his head off. My grandma died. My dad died. And my mom died. All within 4 years. So, the state that I was in, and I did not relapse. I stayed sober off meth, but I did drink a hell of a lot more than I drink now. But I have a few beers a day, and that's the truth. But most of it, and everybody else can vouch for that. But then I was drinking 30 racks. I mean, I was getting fucked up. I mean, bad. And it's just like he said, it comes with growth. I have come in so far to where I am, and I have all the thanks to the whole club, everybody here. Nobody else has had it hard or easier or harder than me. But I feel like every day the devil still tries to take me back, because it is a constant struggle every day. And that's the phase that I'm going through, is finding that balance. There's God and there's a devil. I have to learn how to shut him out. And that's where the growth is. But it's coming, and I appreciate everybody listening.
Well, and it's just one day at a time. That's really what it says.
It's- That's why it's called spiritual warfare.
Tomorrow has enough worries of its own.
I'm not the
It
best
is a
speaker, but
battleground.
My heart means well.
Growth is a slow process. It can be. I mean,
Well, you can even go through spurts and
Besides
stuff.
your dang hair.
But this is up to the mercy of God, and our willingness to either adhere to the lessons or pay attention. Israel wandered around in the wilderness for 40 years, and so.
and I used to be the type of guy that would sit there, and if someone told me they were Christian, I laughed in their face half the dang time.
Mm-hmm.
That was me.
I grew up religious my whole life.
Well,
I
can
just
you imagine?
never.
Can you imagine being
I
Paul
was big.
himself? Like, he literally murdered Jesus' followers. He went around murdering them.
It's happening today.
Well, no, I'm not just that. I'm saying the
Genocide,
transition
basically.
of the heart. Paul's a little bit different story than just the chaos in the world. And there is people's hearts being surrendered like Paul's. But he had Damascus where God blinded him, and his heart went from, I'm a Pharisee, a very, very important one, and I can go do this with authority and murder and stone and kill Christians, basically, or Jesus followers, to becoming one that wrote over half the New Testament. It's powerful on what God can do and who he can change. And so it comes back to, what right do we have to cast the first stone, let alone our rebellious side, the rebels, and then the reborn, how it can go hand in hand to lead us into places that, Paul had the ability to do, to go speak life to other Pharisees, are the ones willing to listen, because he got some of their attention, but also at the same note, he got 86th out of some towns. And so if you're talking about 1% life, or, being rebels, Jesus' followers, Acts, they got 86th and stoned and thrown out of so many cities that, man, I've been kicked out of places, and if we get kicked out of town because we're speaking the name Jesus, well, boy howdy, that must have been a good adventure. And so, it's one big walk. Everybody's all focused on something. So until you guys figure out what's going on, I don't know what I'm talking to.
We need to get Big Man a fidget spinner.
Oh,
I'm
word.
ADHD. I'm moving the table around. Camera's
He's
moving. I'm
moving
sorry,
this,
you
and
guys.
I'm like,
we
"Stop,
we
the cameras
we
are right
built a
there."
very
He keeps moving it
beautiful, a
back and
very
forth.
beautiful
And slide
Yeah, and the
table.
cameras are like right there.
We'll
Trying
put
to
some
talk.
pictures in so
We
you
built
guys
Leaf.
can see it.
I messed up. We built a very beautiful leaf,
It's not finished
and
yet.
Yeah, it's not quite finished yet. We got to put in the dowels to keep it steady.
it's good enough for God.
He's been.
When those dowels are in, he won't be able
Yeah,
to
he won't be able
slide
to
it.
that. So next time it'll go smoother. So if you're wondering why I'm doing this,
Yeah, it's not him.
I'm surfing. We're actually in California. And we've gotten really good at this. All it is a backdrop. I'm carrying a green screen and I'm surfing right now.
Exactly like
Yeah, right. We live in Montana.
We're on a
and
boat.
It's cold.
We're on a
And
boat.
so, no, I do appreciate you sharing your story, Jared. It is a heavy one, and it is one that will
I
connect.
just
And
haven't shared yet.
it just shows just the heart of the matter of
That's what we're here for.
for one, resiliency in your own story, in your own walk with God, that it's okay to stumble or feel like, well, man, I felt like I had it with God then, and then my life went bad. It doesn't. God is with you in both the good and the bad. Every day of our lives is accounted for, and so he is not surprised at what we do tomorrow. We just live tomorrow out, and it's a big surprise to us. So it's where the trust comes in. Trust that when he promises that he's got a future and a hope ready for us, that yeah, it might come like Joseph or Daniel or Noah or any of them might come with the struggle and some time, but it's gonna come. But it comes with faith and just learning to ATF everything.
That's what,
You
that's
want the
what we're
peace
here
of
for,
understanding or the
And
peace
if
that
you
surpasses
haven't
all
read
understanding?
ATF yet,
ATF.
I suggest that you do, because I'm telling you what,
it's worth it.
it's worth it.
It
Well,
will.
and
brother.
here's
We'll
another.
link it down below.
Here's another. What?
I was just saying, we'll link it down below. Put the link to
Absolutely.
your
Here's another
Amazon.
exciting thing too is that we're actually very close on having our spiritual warfare book put together, which handles a lot of things like spiritual or like mindsets, core attitudes and beliefs. You know, the downfalls that we start noticing in ourselves when we start deleting something where the sin actually happened, where we fell short, or just whatever. We got angry and yelled at a person. It's a book that will help you understand the plank in your own eye, so that then you can start letting God teach you about who you are, and then why all the bad stuff happened in your life was actually a good thing. And so it's
That is
important.
definitely a big thing. Is you can realize that bad stuff will be used as a way to help someone later on, and like you can be going through a living hell, and it still will be worth it. That is for sure.
It is worth it.
Oh, definitely.
Well,
I
and that's the
agree.
thing too is
Life's worth it.
I will swear this up and down. For one, like, every bad day I've ever had was a part of the process and a part of the plan for me, because it helped lead me to who I am today. But man, the struggles in those storms and trying to find hope in it and stuff. Yeah.
Just the other day, we're driving to work. Lil King is not a morning person. Everybody just know that, okay? And we're driving to work, and for some reason, I'm just in a good mood, and I'm being very grateful. Did my Bible app reading, whatever, and stuff, and I look out the window and I go, God, this world is beautiful. And I just kind of laughed about that as I thought about that, because on the way to work in Montana right now, we have in Butte, Anaconda, surrounding areas, we have no snow, which is very, very rare.
Weird, yeah.
But
it's weird.
everything's brown. Everything's brown. Nothing's real beautiful about it. But to me that morning, life was just beautiful. And that's from coming from somebody that was, committed suicide 3 times, but lived. Because I told on myself twice as I started feeling effects of the pills and stuff. So I caught, that. But, to the point of where I broke down to Ryan, just this life is beautiful. And it just might be brown grass and weeds and the world burning up from these wildfires. But I'll tell you what, it is all in God's plan. And God created
and
it.
we're
good.
searching for the riches and the stuff we're storing in heaven, not the things that the moths can eat today, the things that get taken away or somebody can come steal. We're called to go make disciples, to go love and teach and extort. And so even that
Amen.
involves us walking through struggles with people and, understanding that sometimes the struggles we have were actually a part of the process, like the man being born blind since birth. So, it's part of the process. And if God can help change Paul, the killer and murderer of Jesus' followers, then there is nobody listening that can't be loved enough to
You can
realize
be
they
saved.
are loved.
Exactly. Even if you're in a position you feel like you can't be saved, you can definitely be saved.
And here, one little thing, as the way, if you don't know, Chunk Monkey has Chris's Corner, so if you want to search that on Facebook, but the way he ends it, I'll let you end it. Then we'll pray.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna end this with the same way I end Chris's Corner, which is with my same small little phrase, which is "You are enough."
Amen.
Amen.
So, with that, Father, I just want to thank you for this time. We know that this is just the beginning of the adventure with you, and that each day and each step we take with you is going to have purpose, whether it feels like it or not sometimes. Because from our perspective, things feel miserable, but they're absolutely perfect. So, we just want to surrender this time. We want to surrender this podcast, our motorcycle ministry, our church, our nonprofit. We just want to surrender it all over to you, Lord, because without you and without you being in the lead of whatever we're doing, it's all meaningless. So we just thank you for this time, for this opportunity, and for this family. We ask for you that this podcast goes out and gets to reach, those people who just kind of feel hopeless or lost, or like they might just not belong. Because I'll tell you what, we want the most broken. We want the outcasts because they are the ones that can help change the world. So if you still feel too lost or too broken, definitely reach out. But Lord, just search the hearts. Help us, correct us when we are wrong. But let us lead those who will listen to find you. And so thank you for this opportunity. And it's in Jesus' name we surrender this next week. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.